Hi, how's everyone doing today? This marks the first Pilates Bites where, we've used like some props before, pillows and weights or chickpea cans, but I've kind of stayed away from a lot of the kind of props that I traditionally use in Pilates classes when I teach, just because I don't know what you have available to you and I wanted to make the classes as accessible as possible. But at this point, we are 10 or 11 weeks in, and I miss working with the ball. This is my all-time favorite prop. I love using the ball. It is so versatile. You're going to see today we're going to use it in a lot of different ways. We're going to get a lot of inner thigh. We're going to get a lot of core. I am using a ball that I got at the dollar store. It's from Frozen. Got it a couple of years ago. It's got a good amount of squish to it. You don't need to have a ball though for today's class. If you would like to use a pillow for some of the inner thigh work, you are welcome to grab a pillow. Otherwise, I will of course be offering modifications that, that you can do without the use of the ball. So let's get going. So the first thing we're going to do is just engaging through that pelvic floor, finding that breath by giving the ball a little squeeze. So it's nice to have something tactile to feel when we're doing that pelvic floor breath. So we're going to take a breath in, and on the exhale, you're going to start to press into the ball and feel the pelvic floor pulling up and the abdominals pulling in toward the center as you squeeze. Inhale, let it go. Exhale, pulling it back together. Inhale, let it go. Exhale, and again, inhale, and exhale. Now this is a fantastic exercise to do during pregnancy and postpartum because it helps to stay connected to the abdominals. And especially postpartum when things are kind of stretched out and we're having a bit of a harder time connecting to that area, having something to tactilely play with in your hands and press against really does help find the connection through those abdominals, and it will help to wake them up a little bit and help heal a diastasis. We're going to do one more time. All right. From here, we're going to take the ball. Just place it high between the inner thighs, or you can take a pillow for this if you'd like, or nothing at all, your choice. And we're just going to do some nice hinges back. So as I hinge back, I'm thinking of the tailbone and the two sit bones, my 12 o'clock, 3 and 9 o'clock on my clock face, spreading wide apart and then gently drawn together. It's not changing what my spine looks like, so I'm not pulling my tailbone down toward the floor. I'm also not completely sinking in my back as I do this. Just nice and easy. Just a couple of these to warm everything up. All right, one more time. Just warming up those hips. All right. We're going to take the ball in hand. Finding a nice 4-point kneel. I'm going to reach the ball out and the hand closest to the camera. Engaging through my glute, I'm going to put my footprint up on the ceiling. Core on. As I bring the arm back toward my hip, extend the leg out. Bend that leg, bring the ball back overhead. Now you don't need a ball for this. You can obviously do this without a ball. I'm actively pushing the floor away through my arm, so I'm staying lifted in my armpit. I'm really trying to keep my hips square to the ground so I'm not rotating through the hip. 2, 1. I'm going to bend my leg and keep my leg bent, but you can extend it if you'd like a bit more of a challenge for the body. Opening the arm to the side, circling for 8, 7. And I'm keeping my gaze at the edge of my mat so my head doesn't start to drop. 4, 3, 2, 1. We're going to reverse that. 2, pulling those abdominals in, keeping that glute active. 4, 3, 2, 1. It all comes in. Before we do this on the other side, we're going to come down onto the ball on our forearms. And I'm just going to push the ball away and then pull the ball out and in. So I can feel that engagement underneath the armpit, getting a little lat here. And I want to keep my collarbone nice and wide as I do this, so I don't start to sink into my shoulders. Actively pushing into that ball. 2 more. So you can do this without the ball. If you're going to do it without, you can come down and go into either a full plank or a half plank, and it's the body that's going to kind of seesaw over the arms rather than the body staying still and the arms doing the movement. So similar exercise, a little bit different, but same kind of focus. We're going to go to the other side. I need to move to the other side as I just don't have the space. So finding a nice 4-point kneel, tummy nice and supported. I'm going to reach my arm out, engaging through my glute, lifting my leg up, hips are square. As I extend the arm back behind me, I'm going to reach that leg nice and long, pushing the floor away, rotate that elbow on the supporting arm back, bend the leg, reach up overhead. And again. And I'm going to flex my foot, get a little bit more activity in that posterior chain. One more time. And here I'm going to leave my leg where it is, but open my arm to the side, push my supporting arm more into the floor or away from the floor, and circle 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, head stays lifted, and 1, reversing that for 8, and 6, 4, 3, 2, 1, and bring it in. Coming back down onto the ball, tummy's nice and supported, pulling those elbows in toward the body and away. Actively pushing into the ball so I stay lifted as I do this. Out and in. And 4 more. 3, 2, 1 more time here. Finding neutral to come to a close and then coming off the ball. All right, let's head to our backs. So lying down, placing the ball between the inner thighs. We're just going to take a moment to feel our spines on the mat. Feel the abdominals pulling in. And I'm going to start to pulse into the ball. So if you want to grab a pillow here, if you don't have a ball at your disposal, a pillow will work just as well. Just gently pressing into that ball, starting to wake up those inner thighs. And then what we're going to do is we're going to find just enough tension in the legs so that I'm not squeezing that ball for dear life, but I'm also not totally lax with it. I want to find a nice happy medium where I am still actively involved with the ball. The inner thighs are woken up, tummy's nice and supported, and leg furthest away from the camera is going to extend up. Hands come behind the head. Let's do a little ab curl here. Curling up for 8 and coming down. So I'm pressing into the ball with both legs. I like having that feedback. It almost feels a little easier having that support of the ball there rather than if the ball weren't there. But harder at the same time because now my inner thighs are working a lot harder. 2. Last one, we are going to stay on up there. Hold that leg, pulses into the ball. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. Hold that. Lower the head and shoulders. Do another set of 8 upper body curls. Exhale out, pull that pelvic floor in. You can do this without the curls if the curl is too much, or if you're pregnant or postpartum, you might want to omit the curl. Last one, let's stay on up there and pulse it. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. Bend the leg, lower down, other side. Extend that leg up, curl up and down, curl and down. 3. Not moving quickly here. Finding that little bit of energy between those inner thighs. Just crackling around the ball. 2 more. 1 last time. Holding that pulse. 1, 2. And I'm doing the majority of the pulsing from the leg that's long rather than the leg that's on the ground. 3, 2, 1. Lower the head and shoulders. 8 more curls. Curl up for 8. And 7. And I'm just going to start to flex and point my foot here because I'm getting a foot cramp. But also a little bit of extra added mobility. Why not? Let's do 3 more. Last one, we stay and pulse it. 1, 2, 3. Feel like you're pulling those abdominals in toward the center, like when you were pressing the ball with your hands. 8, and down, bend the leg. All right, taking the ball now and placing it underneath the foot closest to the camera. Hand, same hand as leg comes behind the head, opposite arm comes up towards the ceiling. We're gonna roll out, reaching long and pulling back in. Layer 1. Now, if you don't have a ball, you can absolutely do this. Just extend the leg out into space and pull it back in. We have done that many, many times before. I'm gonna keep my supporting leg down on the ground, but if you would also like to make this more challenging for yourself, you can bring that leg up to tabletop as you do this, which will add a little extra something. We're gonna add a little extra something right now. We're gonna pull the leg in, but continue curling up in my straight sagittal plane here. Then rotating head, collarbone, rib cage. I'm gonna rotate my hand to the outside, and I'm just gonna do little pulses. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. Slowly rotate rib, collarbone, head back. Lengthen everything long. 2 more sets, nice and slow, just like that. Pulling everything in, continuing to tip up in my curl. Head, collarbone, rib cage, bringing the hand to the opposite side of the knee. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. Rotate back. Lengthen it all out. 1 last time here. Curling up a little higher. Just gonna fix my ball. Head, collarbone, rib cage, pulse at 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And down. We're gonna keep the ball under the foot and go into some hip lifts here. So you can grab your pillow if a pillow is what you have available to you. Place it underneath the foot. Finding the core, actively pressing into the ball just as much as you are into the foot on the mat. Lifting up. Feel that little bit of instability on that ball side. Hinge halfway down. Exhale, pressing into that ball, pressing into that heel. And down. So I'm still staying very, very heavy and supported on my ball leg as I go up and down. I'm not losing the support. I'm trying to keep very equal weight between my legs, even though one is unstable. Last one,
We're gonna stay up there. I'm gonna anchor a little bit more through my leg that doesn't have the ball, and I'm just gonna gently roll the ball out and in. Now, if you're working with a pillow, then don't worry about this part of it. Just enjoy the instability. Or you can bring the leg up through tabletop and reach the leg out into space as we have done before in classes. 2 more here. 1 more time. And then hinging and controlling all the way down. Taking that ball, placing it under the other foot. Hand comes behind the head, same hand as leg, opposite arm comes up. We're gonna do a few out and in to warm up this side. I love the ball. It is really just so versatile, everything that you can do with it. It is truly one of my most favorite mat props in Pilates. One last time like this, pulling in. I'm just gonna fix that ball. So we are going to continue to curl up. Rotate head, collarbone, rib cage, pulse at 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. It comes down, reach everything out. Pull it all back in. Continue to curl up. Head, collarbone, rib cage. Reach it. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Lengthen it all out. One last set here. Pull it in. Curl up. Head, collarbone, rib cage. Reach that hand to the opposite side of the knee. We're pulsing 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. Let's lengthen everything out. And just pull the leg back in. We're going into our hip lifts from here. So pressing as equally through both legs as possible, coming up into that hip lift. Woo, one side way more unstable than the other. And then come halfway down. And up. So the ball is adding just enough instability as I do this to make all those little stabilizers in the body work just a little bit harder. It's nice to challenge the body like this. And that's what I love about Pilates is when things start to feel like maybe it's getting a little too easy, we just throw in a prop and everything gets a little bit more unstable. We're gonna stay on up there. If you have a ball, you can roll it out and in. If you don't, you can lift the leg up into the air and just extend and pull it in as we have done in previous classes. Pilates is very humbling. I'll never forget when I started my Pilates training, 2 more here, and then down my Pilates instructor training. All right, we're gonna come onto our side now. Legs are gonna be nice and long. You can bring them so the feet are into the corner of the mat, and I'm pressing actively into the ball. So again, just giving myself a little bit of instability to play with. I'm gonna lift that top leg up, bend it in, and stretch it out. So I started my instructor training. I'd gone through my mat training, hadn't done my reformer training yet, but had done like 6 weeks of mat training. You know, thought, oh, my core is so good, so strong, so stable. And then I went and I did a group class, and the instructor was like, okay, let's take the squishy ball and place it under your pelvis. And I was like, I'm sorry, what? Put it under my pelvis, fell off the ball. No stability. Was not there, could not do it. And out from here, we're gonna go into our side kick. So I'm bringing the leg forward and engaging the glute back. Try and keep my pelvis pretty quiet during this. So what I love about Pilates is that it's very humbling. It's a very humbling form of movement. We always find ways to challenge you. It is never boring. It's one of the reasons why my classes tend to be very, like we're looking at similar exercises, but I try to make the classes different every time that we spend time together because I don't want the body to get too used to things. From here, we're gonna go into our big bicycle. So I'm bringing leg forward, bend that knee, reach it out. Sweep it forward, bend the knee toward the bum, engage that glute, reach it long. And I'm actively pressing into my ball here. Don't think that I'm just kind of hanging out with my hand, not doing anything. I have one more time in this direction. I am actively pushing into that ball. We're gonna reverse here, bum. And we lengthen and sweep back. So I'm bringing my heel toward my bum. Finish the sentence, Robin. And out. 2 more like this. One more time. And down. Taking my ball, placing it just above the ankle. So if you have a pillow and not a ball, you can still do that, or you can do this work without the ball. It's very, very versatile, inner thigh work. So we've done this work before, pulling the abdominals in and lifting up and down as one leg. But we've added a ball. So we've added just enough instability to make everything a little wobbly and to make you work just a little bit harder. And that's a nice thing. 3, 2, we're gonna stay up there and pulse the ball. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. And from here, I'm gonna roll that ball between my legs. Now, if you don't have a ball, just do scissors with the legs. 1 leg forward, 1 leg back. If you do have a ball, then stay connected to it and roll that ball between the ankles or just above the ankles. Feel how much harder you have to work through the core to make that happen. 2 more. How much that lower leg, inner thigh should be working. Back to center, lower it down. Let's take a look at all of this on the other side. So, lying down, both legs out. The feet can be in the corner of the mat or straight down, whichever you prefer in terms of stability. And I'm actively pushing into the ball to create a little bit more of an unstable support system for myself. Top leg comes up, bend it in, reach it out. Bend it in and reach it out. Let's do 4 more like this. Finding that nice hip hinge. 2, 1. Let's go into our side kicks. Bringing the leg forward, engaging that glute as I come back. Trying not to round too much in the back as I do this. So it's okay if your range is small. If it's a small kick, that's cool. There's nothing wrong with that. It's always about the quality of the movement, not the quantity of the movement. 2 more. Last one, and we're gonna do 4 big bicycles here. So let's bring the leg forward, bring that heel back toward the bum, reach back behind you, sweep it forward, bend, and back. 2 more in this direction, forward, sweep. Last one here. We're gonna reverse it, heel to bum, hinge that hip, extend that leg, sweep. Heel to bum, extend and sweep. 2 more. 1 more time. And down. Take the ball, place it, I like just above the ankle, myself. Nice and long, hips are square. And we're lifting and lowering as one. So I have energy in the ball between those inner thighs. 4, 3, 2, let's stay up there, let's pulse it. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. We are doing that little roll. So I'm trying to keep the ball connected between my legs. As I do this, if you don't have a ball, just do scissors. Leg scissors, 1 forward, 1 back. Feels easier to maintain the stability on this side. 3 more. And 2. Although I do feel like I'm about to lose that ball. 1. And down. Whew, just in time. All right. coming onto your bellies, we're gonna take that ball and place it between the heels. Again, you don't need the ball for this. Just really squeeze those heels together, or you can take a pillow. Hands come underneath the forehead. Belly's nice and supportive. We're gonna engage those glutes. We're gonna lift, squeeze into that ball. You have enough instability. It's gonna make you work a little harder. And down. Coming up. And down. Squeezing into that ball wakes up that whole inside chain of the leg. It's gonna make those glutes work a little harder. One more time, we're gonna stay up there. Bring those heels a little closer to the bum and then extend them just a little ways out. A little closer to the bum and a little ways out. I am still actively pushing into that ball. You can see it wants to shift under my feet. Out and in. 2. Feeling those hamstrings kick in. 1. And down. We're not done yet. We are going to come up in that external rotation. So my knees are pointing outward. I'm going to rotate my legs to parallel, still pressing into that ball, and then turning my legs out. So my heels are rolling around that ball. Glutes and hamstrings really working here. Belly pulling away from the mat for support. Pelvic floor active. Inner thighs, outer thighs. One more time here. And down. Taking the ball. Woo! Nice little hamstring work there. All right, so with this exercise, I have the ball out in front of me. You can grab a can or anything that will roll for this. All I'm going to do, nose is hovering. I'm just going to pull my shoulder blades down my back and then reach my arms forward. Let my shoulder blades slide down the back and then let the arms reach forward. 2 more like that. Just a little elevation and depression of the shoulder blades. And then I'm going to start to press into the ball, let the shoulder blades glide down a little bit, lengthening up through the top of the head, pressing into the ball, and I'm just coming to a very small extension, very, very small. And then down. This is not a huge movement, it's not meant to be. It's just meant to feel just kind of nice. Let that chest lift, especially if you've been at a computer all morning. Little tiny movement here. One more time. And down. Excellent. Push myself back for a moment. Quick little child's pose. Okay, so for the last exercise, the ball is going to be used very much as an unstable base. You can use a pillow for this, but I find the ball just really gives you that roll. So we're gonna place our forearm on the arm furthest away from the camera onto the ball, and I'm actively pressing into that ball. Pulling my abdominals in, the same leg as the arm that's on the ball, it is going to extend. So I'm gonna try really hard here not to sink into my supporting leg. Engaging that glute, pressing actively into the ball so I don't sink into the shoulder. If this is enough of a challenge for you, stay here. If you would like more, you can walk your opposite hand out, holding that, actively pushing into the ball, trying not to sink too much into that supporting leg, hips are square, and then you can also do a little lift and lower. See if you can hold that arm out there for 4, 3, 2, and in. You can see very, very wobbly. Let's go to the other side. So actively pressing into the forearm so I stay lifted underneath the armpit, extending that same leg out, keeping the hips square. This might be enough. We're gonna walk the fingers out, pulling the abs in. That might be enough. or you can lift and hold. Oh, this side's a little bit more stable than the other side. 4, 3, woo, 2, 1, and in. So lots of fun stuff with the ball. We're just gonna sit, bring it out in front of us. We're gonna do a little rotation here. So I'm just holding the ball in my hands. As I turn my head, allow the elbow to bend. I'm just gonna let that ball roll to the tip of my fingers and up my arm a little bit, back to center. Just nice and easy and gentle rotation. Head, collarbone, rib cage, just gently rotating. And the ball is just helping to facilitate that movement. One more time on each side. All right, thank you so much. It is always a pleasure to see you, and I will see you again at another video. Bye.